So I'm here with my boy Problematic. We've been working on improving the Lighthouse on the PVE server we play on here. We knocked the top of it off, and instead of having just one set of lights, we've broken it into 8 different segments. So each of the outside or exterior blocks there, and there's 8 of them, is a different set of lights. And all the electronics inside now are set up for 8 rotating zones that will run in sequence for 1 second each. So if you've seen my previous video I just posted on the proof of concept of this, it's just expanded from the 4 zone proof of concept out to an 8 zone. It did require multiple battery sources to do this because of the amount of power required for all the components. But hopefully when it gets dark, when the sun gets low enough, it'll trigger my threshold, and the threshold trigger should set this off, and we should see the lighthouse rotate all the way around the top there. So I'm gonna stop filming for now, and when it gets dark and this turns on, we'll get a little more video of it, and then we'll go inside and look at how it operates. Alright, against all odds, the sun is setting and the lighthouse is turned on. It's hard to see it from land, but it is in fact cycling around all 8 blocks here. So, oh, great. Well, if we don't get blown up by the patrol heli, then we'll show off what this thing looks like in the dark a little more. Alright, well, now we're starting to get some legitimate darkness. So you can kind of see it rotating all the way around. We may add some backing doors for better light there, but we left it open so you can see it going around easier, because once we fill in all the walls there, it's going to be very directional. So I'm going to do a quick run. And yes, I actually do use my boathouse design. Yeah, automatic garage door opener. Like a boss. And now, because I'm a glutton for punishment, I'm gonna go try and find this hot air balloon. See if I can't get up in the hot air balloon before it gets light again. There it is. Oh, looks like it's gonna take us right out there. Here we go. Aerial view of the lighthouse. Gotta like that. And it sounds like we might get an up close and personal view of the heli here in a moment too. Unfortunately, seems like I may be getting, oh, there it is. Got almost too far away from it to still be in draw distance, but just close enough right now. There it is. Alright, now we're in the belly of the beast. If you saw the proof of concept video for this, it'll look the same, just with a lot more components because it's not a 4 zone, it's an 8 zone. So, and there's 3 power supplies involved here. So, you've got the rusty clock over here, which is in its most simplest form a timer, a blocker, and a branch. It's set to 1 second, so it's a clock because it's just ticking once every second. Every pulse that it sends out goes through all of these branches to the upper right of the counters, and you can see it's making all the counters count together. Every single one of these is set 1 second higher or 1 count higher than the next. So this is set to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. When they hit their count, they set off their timer. Each timer is also set to 1 second. So when this hits, it starts this light for a second. 1 second later, this hits, and it starts that timer. And you can see it goes all the way around. And then it resets. The branches along the bottom are the power supplies. So you can see that these 3 here, this branch and these 2 branches, so these 3 light sets are powered by 1 battery that goes downstairs. Another battery comes up to here and runs these 4 light sets. So you got 4 on 1 battery, 3 on another. And because the amount of power it takes for the return branch set here to reset all these, I have a branch set that all it does, or a battery rather, all it does is run the clock, which is only a couple units of power, but its output, which is enough to trigger all of these branches all the way around. And it also powers this counter, which sends the power back through all of these branches, which hits the clear input on all of these. So all of the branches that trigger the counters and all the branches that reset the counters, along with the clock, are powered off of this branch. Could power a little bit more off of these with 3 batteries in use here, but that's just how it worked out. Probably could have got out with 2. And then if you come up here, you can see that as each of those timers clicks on, it clicks on a set of lights all the way around. We've obviously set them up in order. So this is your rotating lighthouse beacon light. I also was smart enough to put in a ladder hatch this time so you can actually go on the roof. The power sources here are the windmill. Windmills do pretty darn well when they're up this high, just so you know. So if you're feeling bold and want to build a 21-story tower, you're going to get pretty good power out of it. I actually don't have my cable with me, so I can't tell you how much it is, but it's usually been around 100 to 150. Because we have 3 large batteries downstairs, ideally we want 300 or more power all day long to charge. So there's 5 sets, those 2 pairs, these 2 pairs, and this center pair are all combined through a bunch of root combiners with the windmill. They all go down and charge the batteries. These 2 solar panels, the one facing west and the one facing east, go into a combiner, and all they do is the trigger to turn on the lighthouse. And I'll go down 2 floors and show you how that works. So here's our battery room. In our battery room here, this splitter is that main power coming down. All the combined solar and wind is coming into this splitter. It splits 3 ways into 1, 2, 3 batteries. Those 3 batteries go into these blockers, and that pair of solar panels that's facing east and west, they come down to this branch, which is currently set to 10, which is fine. The higher you set it, the more goes into the branch, so the less is left over. So if you want it to turn on sooner, you set this number higher. If you want it to turn on later, you set this number lower. But anyway, those solar panels feed power into this splitter that hits all 3 of these blockers. So when the sun comes up enough to hit this threshold, it's going to turn off all these batteries. In fact, I can probably like set it down nice and low and you can see, boom, there's already enough sun to bring in more than 3 units of power. Clearly not enough sun to do more than 10 quite yet. Oh, maybe we just hit it. Good. So sun's coming up, and there you go. So when the sun goes all the way around and comes back on the other side here, rises in the east. Apparently we're in the southern hemisphere because it goes across to the north and then over to the west. And once the sun gets low enough over there to get below that branch's threshold, it'll trigger this whole circuit to start over again. In the meantime, since it's turned off, it's cut power to all these, but the counters remember where they were, so it'll pick up right where it left off. And that, my friends, is how an 8-zone automatically rotating lighthouse beacon works. Enjoy.